I thought it was just another night, just one more drink to take the edge off, just another quiet drive home. But that night changed everything, because that night, I got arrested for DUI. And I'll be honest, at first, I thought it was the end of my life. Turns out, it was the beginning. My name is Marcus Bell. I'm 48. I'm a security guard. And this is the story of how getting handcuffed on a rainy Thursday saved my life. If you've ever felt like you've messed up too badly to start over, I'm here to tell you, you haven't. Because I'm still here, and if I can come back from it, you can too. For 15 years, my life followed the same rhythm. Night shifts, black coffee, the same route home, and a drink to close the night. I wasn't wild. I wasn't reckless. I just thought I was tired. But the truth? I was disappearing. Slowly. Quietly. Drinking started as a weekend thing, then a nightcap, then a necessity. I didn't notice how much I relied on it, until the night I drove drunk. I remember the rain on the windshield, the dim streetlights, and the sudden blur of red and blue in my rearview mirror. The breathalyzer didn't lie. Neither did the handcuffs. That night I sat alone in a holding cell, staring at the wall, thinking, how the hell did I get here? They let me out the next morning, and everything felt colder. My apartment, my job. Even Duke, my dog, looked at me differently. Or maybe I was just finally seeing clearly. Court ordered me into a 90-day outpatient rehab program. At first, I thought the worst part was losing my license. But the hardest part was walking through the doors of that rehab center. I kept telling myself, I'm not like them. But I was. I met people who had lost far more than I had. Jobs, homes, families. And slowly, I began to realize I had been losing those things too. I just hadn't noticed yet. A woman named Leah talked about losing her nursing license. Another man, Eric, hadn't seen his son in 5 years. And me? I hadn't spoken to my sister in 10. Missed my mom's last birthday. Couldn't remember the last time I'd said something honest about how I was doing. I showed up to every session because I didn't want to end up like some of the others. And then I realized some of the others were looking at me the same way. That place didn't just help me quit drinking. It helped me stop lying to everyone, especially myself. One of the hardest exercises they gave us was to write a letter to the person we used to be. I stared at a blank page for hours. And when I finally wrote, this came out. You thought alcohol made you stronger, but it just made you silent. You weren't escaping the pain, you were just dragging it behind you. But I forgive you, because now I'm trying to be better. Reading that aloud in group broke something open in me. After that, I started journaling every day. I took walks with my dog Duke in the mornings. I smiled at strangers, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Tiny things, but they made me feel alive again. I also started volunteering to help clean up the meeting space. Just stacking chairs, sweeping floors. It felt good to give back, even in small ways. I was learning that recovery wasn't about grand victories. It was about showing up over and over again, even when it hurt. If you've made it this far, thank you. If this story connects with you, if it reminds you of something you've gone through or someone you care about, please consider subscribing. We tell real stories here, the kind that heal, not just entertain. Now, let's get back to it. 3 weeks into sobriety, I got a voicemail. Hi, Marcus. This is Jasmine Bell. I'm your daughter. I froze. I hadn't heard her voice since she was 8. That was 19 years ago. She told me she found out about my arrest online, and something told her to reach out. We met at a quiet diner. She was grown, strong, guarded, kind. We sat there, both unsure. Then she said something that stuck in my chest. I always told myself, if you ever tried to get better, I'd give you one chance. I looked her in the eye and whispered, this is my one. We talked for hours. I didn't beg for forgiveness. I just listened. And that, somehow, started the healing. We started slow. Text messages. A few calls. I learned she loved painting. She worked as a barista. She lived only 2 neighborhoods away. All those years, and I had no idea. Today, my life is quiet. I live near the park. I work nights only 3 days a week. The rest of my time, I teach free workshops on recovery and self-worth. I'm not a therapist, not a preacher, just someone who's been there. Some mornings I walk Duke past that same diner, and I remind myself that second chance wasn't a gift. It was a decision I made every day. Sobriety isn't a victory march. It's a quiet, stubborn walk forward, and I'll keep walking it. Sometimes I still struggle. I still get tempted. I still feel regret. But I no longer let those feelings drive the car. I let them ride in the back seat while I hold the wheel. That's what healing looks like. I used to think getting arrested was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now I know. It was the moment I started living again. You don't have to hit rock bottom to change. But if you're there, know this. There's a way back, a way forward, a way home. Your story doesn't end with your worst mistake. It can start there. I'm Marcus Bell, and this was my second chance.